What are some things to look for when you are processing an application for rent? Hello, everybody. It's me, Lady Burke, and I'm back. Before we continue, please remember to click subscribe if you're new to my channel and click like for more fun content. So this video today will be focused on applicants and the application process. What are some things to look for when you are processing an application for rent? So you have an applicant, right? Let's say you're an owner. You have a unit that's available for rent, or you can be a property manager. Either scenario, you have an application in your hand, and it is your job, of course, to find the best renter for your client. So what are some things to look for? One of the things that I found in my 14 years of experience is I have come across a lot of loosey-goosey application processing, meaning some owners only care that the rent can be paid and don't do any other type of processing with the application. Although I agree that it is important that the applicant can pay rent, there are other things to factor in. Remember, one bad resident can ruin it for all your other excellent residents. I have seen buildings where good residents leave because of one bad apple. So here we go. The first step is requesting an application, which you've already done. You have the application, right? So the second step is to review each and every application. Let's just say it's a family. You're gonna have an applicant for every legal adult in that family. Yes, even if that legal adult is only 18 and doesn't have a job. You're gonna give that applicant to that 18-year-old because some families, some parents have been known to use their children's social security information. So you're gonna run the credit on that 18-year-old as well. Once you verify that the application has been completely filled out, there's no missing information, employment information, and rental information, you're gonna go ahead and start the background check, okay? You do this by not just pulling the credit history, you're also gonna verify employment by two ways. Number one, you're gonna request proof of income, and that can be in the forms of 3 months worth of pay stubs or whatever your company's policy is, and or bank statements, okay? But you're also gonna contact the employer. I have come across forged pay stubs. I've seen it. Or I've seen where people tell me, well, I don't really get a pay stub. I just get like a written receipt, whatever. You're gonna have to contact the employer and do what's called a VOE, verification of employment. This is really important. Not only are you verifying that this person does have a job and can pay the rent, and that they meet your income requirements. You're also kind of getting to feel for whether or not this person would be a good renter. Because as just a standard rule, good employees make good renters. If you think about that for a second, if you have an employee that is always late, they always have a reason why they can't come into work that day, always calling out sick, always have a reason why they can't perform their job duties, envision that employee as your renter. Every month on the 1st, that same person is gonna call you telling you why they can't pay their rent or why the rent is late yet again. And this is such a huge hassle for landlords. The process of a 3-day notice to pay or quit, then you have to set up payment plans depending on how far behind they are. So the employment verification process is really important. Not only are you going to verify their employment, you're also going to do a rental history check. This is also really important. Some companies, actually, let me rephrase this, all management companies have different policies in terms of how far back they go in rental history checks. I've seen some that only have a 2-year rental history check, which in my personal opinion, that's not good. Because a current landlord, if they have a bad resident and they're desperate to get rid of that bad resident, they're gonna give you a raving review on how wonderful that resident is. Never mind that resident could easily be an eviction for non-payment of rent. Remember, it takes a while for that eviction to hit their credit report. So let's just say you have an applicant that is desperate to move into your unit. They're calling you every hour on the hour. Oh, I just want to know the status of my application. And they're calling you and emailing you all the time. Pay attention to that red flag. This is a person that's trying to move into a new unit before the eviction hits their credit report. Also, if you pull the screening results from Experian or whatever company you use, pay attention to the addresses that pops up on their screening report. If they tell you that they've been at this place or have only been staying with a friend for 5 years, but the credit report shows something different, you're gonna wanna have to ask. In fact, you should ask. You should not let that go. Ask them for the landlord's current information. I've had people lie to me and give me their best friend's information. You know what? Google is a very wonderful tool. I've Googled addresses and I have found empty lots. I've Googled addresses and I have found that there actually is a professional management company managing that property, and the information they listed on the application is totally wrong. Please be thorough. And it may seem like a lot, but in the end, having a bad resident can really ruin everything for you. So take the time to process this application and do it thoroughly. Another question that comes up is, what if something pops up on the criminal background report? Before I say anything else, remember to always seek legal counsel because it's case by case. It depends on what's on the criminal background report. It also depends on how old it is. Let's just say you're dealing with someone who's 60 or whatever, and this happened 20 years ago from them. You're going to want to keep that in mind. Once you've factored in all that information, usually for most management companies, that information gets given to the property manager. The property manager will discuss it with the owner and client, and they will decide to approve or deny. Remember, when you're denying an application, there has to be a legal reason. You are not allowed to deny someone based on their race, color, national origin, religion, sex, or familial status, or disability. So keep that in mind. So if you're denying an applicant, it's because their income doesn't meet your minimum income requirement. It's because their credit score falls below your company's minimum credit score requirement, okay? You cannot deny an application because they have a Section 8 housing voucher. This is in the state of California. Please remember that. I'm still seeing a lot of ads that say no Section 8. Please do not put that in your rental ads. You're not allowed to discriminate against Section 8 housing vouchers. If you're going to deny an applicant, it has to be for legal reasons. Also, that does include rental history. If you get 2 landlord verifications and they both say that this person has never paid their rent on time, that they were a horrible resident, and one of them actually is, I'm in the process of filing for eviction right now, you can't deny an applicant based on rental history. So those are my tips for the day. If you have any questions, if you are an owner watching this video, please reach out to me. My email will be below. If you are a renter who has had a bad experience with submitting an applicant or an application, to an owner, let me know. I welcome both perspectives, from both the perspective of the renter and the perspective of the owner. So that's it for today. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and please remember to subscribe and click like for more content.